Hey, we're here at Rakuten Dealmaker. I'm here with Dr. Nadia Morozova. How are you doing, Nadia?
I'm doing really great. Very excited to come back to this event.
Absolutely. Last year, you were here giving the keynote session.
Yes, so it was a keynote about the future of commerce where I was sharing the key highlights from my PhD research and how it has been leveraged by different social media platforms, as well as encouraging brands and advertisers to strengthen their positioning and to build their revenue both from unplanned and impulse purchases.
Yeah, could you explain a little bit about what a planned and an unplanned and an impulse purchase is?
Absolutely. So planned purchase is something that we have an initial idea to buy. So we go in a store, we see a product, we take it from the shelf, and we carry it with us. In the case of unplanned purchase, we don't have an initial plan to buy this product, but we have a general need state. So for instance, when I go to buy a shampoo, the example of hair conditioner or hair treatment would be an unplanned purchase because it's something that is associated with the hair treatment, but I didn't plan it to buy before going into store. And an impulse purchase is something totally unrelated. So it's something that we see, we get this emotional connection, we get this inspiration. We lean in and follow our inspiration and make the purchase.
So, is there a way that brands and publishers can actually plan and strategize around these types of purchases? Or is it sort of random and to do with however the consumer chooses to shop?
Absolutely. Brands and advertisers can leverage these insights across different business questions. So for instance, last year I was working with an advertiser who is producing beauty care products. And we were thinking about the innovation portfolio and what is the next for them in terms of building their product propositions. So what we saw that there is a lot of opportunity for them to strengthen their portfolio, encouraging both unplanned and impulse purchases. So for instance, their main focus area is skincare products. So we were thinking about how to extend their portfolio with different skincare product propositions, but also how we can introduce something totally different that could potentially be as an inspiration for impulse purchases. Another example comes from my recent partner. So we're working with them to develop a specific AI model, leveraging the real-time data based on the products put in the product basket. So this product basket idea gives us, okay, so what would be potential need states consumer has right now as they are in the shop at this moment of time. So we work on the suggestions like strengthening cross-selling product propositions related with the existing need state, and then at the same time we are leveraging different retail media touch points like banners to suggest them some potential ideas as unplanned purchases. So it's really, really intentional, and in the nutshell it provides both advertisers and retailers an opportunity to drive revenue from two streams instead of just one stream, right? Unplanned and impulse purchases.
Absolutely, and a lot of your PhD research was to do with consumer psychology, and what I'm quite curious to know about is what convinces a consumer or a shopper to click or follow through with an ad from an influencer or creator when they know that it's an ad? Like, how are they convinced in that moment?
Yes, so last year during my keynote I was sharing a couple of examples. The first example was from a beauty care product, and we saw in that example that creators did a great job showcasing the beautiful package, the beautiful product, and also like driving this emotional connection for consumers with this product, so that they get this kind of like leaning in aha moment and kind of, yeah, I want to try, I want to go and make this purchase today. For the unplanned purchase, it's more about cognitive involvement in the decision-making process. So making sure that we see the rationale behind making this purchase. Either it's a great opportunity to buy a product like special offer, promotion, or it's about a reminding, okay, so this is what you potentially were thinking about buying. For instance, research which my team and I at TikTok did in partnership with Work Business, we found that 65% of purchases inspired by TikTok platform are unplanned. So we can think like, right, luxury products, they have a long purchase journey, a decision-making cycle. But indeed, when consumers saw the suggestions from creators, they were like, oh yes, I was thinking about buying it for a very long time. Now you're convincing me, so I'll buy this product at this moment.
So, please tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like an impulse purchase is maybe something like lower value, not so expensive, that you see it and you think, this emotionally resonates with me in this moment, hey, why not? Whereas an unplanned purchase maybe is something maybe slightly more expensive, that like maybe a car or something like that, which you weren't necessarily thinking about. You're not going to impulsively buy a car unless you're really lucky to have loads of money where you could do that. But you might kind of see that ad and then kind of think about it, and over a certain period of time you might end up actually buying that car in the end. Is that the kind of thing?
I think it depends on the specific brand and specific category we're talking about. So right, still, for instance, for luxury products, we saw still around 20% of purchases inspired by social media platforms were impulse. So I think it all depends on the audience we're talking about, on the specific affinity of this audience, and also how prominent they are to making impulse purchases. So I think some personality traits are also playing an important role here. I would also highlight here is that there are, of course, different path to purchase, right? So there are different stages in which we're making the decision. So I think it will also play an important role whether we are making impulse purchase or unplanned purchase. And maybe just an example for the inspiration, I was sharing the key highlights from my PhD research with an audience of academics. And when I was sharing, okay, so what are the differences between unplanned and impulse purchase, one of the professors told me, oh yes, this is a great example of how I bought a piano. I was like, wow, buying a piano as an impulse purchase is quite unusual, but, well, you see.
Only in academia. Yeah. Awesome. I understand in the past year since you've given your keynote, you've done not one but 2 TED Talks. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a very inspirational experience for me last year, and that encouraged me to go to broader audiences and share my ideas, not just with advertisers and publishers, but also with consumers, with broader consumer groups. So my first TEDx Talks was in Rome, and it was about time well spent. So my main question for the audience was, is making the specific types of purchases time well spent or not? Because what we see, and this is what I also mentioned last year during my keynote here, that unplanned purchases, they're actually shortening the purchase funnel. So because we get this immediate idea like, oh yeah, I was thinking about it, right? It's like this aha moment, and they're ready to make the purchase straight away. While impulse purchases, we see, they require several touch points. Usually they are made after we've seen this product several times. And that is also quite counterintuitively. What I found is that impulse purchases are actually taking longer than unplanned purchases, because you go through this process, you see the product, you make some kind of thinking or maybe some emotional relation with the product, and then you eventually lean in and buy. My second TEDx talk was in Walthamstow, and where I was sharing more about how we as consumers are making our purchase decisions, so what is our path to purchase, and also reflecting, are impulse purchases always a waste of time and waste of money, right? So, because quite often we think, oh, when we do impulse purchases, it's something bad, it's something that we quite often regret. But then I was reflecting on my personal story and the story of the piano purchase. I was like, actually, they might also sometimes be very beneficial. And then I kind of was encouraging and engaging the audience in reflecting about their own purchase behavior and their purchase decision-making process, so that they can make an answer for themselves, right? Like, if I'm more prominent to make impulse purchases, is it bad or good? So I think this is helping also us as consumers think about our own behavior and our own decision-making process.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Nadia. How have you found the day at Rakuten Dealmaker, and what have you got planned for the rest of the day?
So this year I was a judge of the awards. So I'm really looking forward for the ceremony because I want to learn who is the winner. And it was such an amazing collection of different applications this year. I really enjoyed raising those ideas, those case studies, and how different brands and advertisers leverage the broad spectrum of the touch points of digital commerce, digital marketing. And what was also very inspirational for me is to see some examples of how luxury brands are thinking more intentionally about encouraging consumers to make unplanned and impulse purchases. I also saw a great showcase from a retail company on how they are considering reaching very difficult audiences and how creative they are in this. So I'm really looking forward to see who is the winner for the awards this year, and my congratulations to everyone.
Me too. I think it's about to start in a second, so
Yeah.
we'll probably head over there now. But thank you. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you. Bye.